Tonight on Q2, helping the homeless.
Despite a new order from President Trump, Billings organizations are pushing forward on their mission to make a difference in the lives of the unhoused.
We give them a 30-day head start, but then we say, okay, go out and live your best life and figure out how to be an adult. That doesn't work.
Plus closing time.
A lot of those kids are busy and active in other extracurricular activities or, again, back to school and college.
Some Billings pools forced to close early this summer. We'll tell you why.
And wise wonders.
I have probably well over 2 million pictures on 6 or 7 hard drives.
I'll introduce you to one super senior connecting with his community thanks to his eye for photography.
The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Well, good evening, and thanks for starting your week with us. I'm Russ Riesinger.
And I'm Andrea Lutz. Tonight, President Donald Trump is taking unprecedented action in the nation's capital, putting D.C. Police Department under federal control and deploying the National Guard.
He says it's to fight crime and clear homeless encampments. The president is calling it a public safety emergency, even as data shows violent crime is actually down 26% and homicides are down 12%.
The order also lets states take control of their unhoused populations, even forcing treatment or making arrests. One Billings group says it's crucial the unhoused still have a voice in their own future.
If we put somebody in a residential treatment facility like Rimrock, we give them a 30-day head start, but then we say, okay, go out and live your best life and figure out how to be an adult. That doesn't work.
Their mission hasn't changed, serving the community, offering resources, and even being there whenever someone needs a place to turn.
And with more on how they're making it happen, here's our Vanessa Willardson.
It takes a long time to build relationships with people who've been really deeply hurt and traumatized. And those folks aren't always ready to just jump right into a service.
President Trump signed an executive order in July titled Ending Crime and Disorder in America's Streets, allowing states to remove homeless populations from the streets and place them in mental health or addiction treatment facilities involuntarily. The order details that states will have the power to enforce prohibitions on open illicit drug use and enforce prohibitions on urban camping and loitering.
We've criminalized all of these things simply because people don't have access to shelter in a home.
Local advocate for the homeless, Carrie Boyder, reacted to the order, saying involuntary treatment for homeless populations could prove ineffective, as the journey to recovery contains many roadblocks.
It is impossible to get a job when you don't have a place to shower, when you don't have clean clothes, when you don't have a cell phone number for that job to call, when you don't have transportation to get to that job. Those are all barriers that have to be resolved, that are steps that need to be taken one by one by one.
One addiction treatment center in Billings, Rimrock Foundation, prioritizes choice for the people they treat in their homeless outreach program.
Recovery isn't one size fits all. The path to recovery isn't one size fits all. So let's figure out what you need.
Manager of Business Development and Community Outreach, Sherelle Garding, says the foundation uses their homeless outreach program, or HOT, to assist people living on the streets. The team assists people in getting insurance, social security cards, and identification cards, and helps them decide the next course of action, providing long-term solutions.
What I say about inpatient treatment is it's like putting a Band-Aid on a hemorrhaging wound. So it is never enough and it has to continue. Then the community's responsibility is looking at someone that is trying to live a changed life, recognition that like their resumes probably are going to have big gaps in them. They're not going to have good credit scores.
The HOT team helped 200 people in 2024, but those are just the people documented. According to Garding, the team reaches out to 40 to 50 people per month.
You can call our main number, 406-248-3175, and be like, I need to get in touch with the HOT team. We get those calls all the time, and we just forward them over to their cell phones, and they'll go anywhere.
The foundation has not experienced change due to the executive order and plans to continue to provide care to the best of their ability. As for Boyder, she hopes the homeless will receive the care they need as an individual and that effective care will grow in the community.
That's when real change begins to happen, with ownership from the individuals involved as to what they want to do, what they think is the next step that's attainable for them, realistic for them.
In Billings, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
Tonight, Billings is being considered for a new state mental hospital in eastern Montana. Lawmakers approved $26.5 million to identify a location, and state leaders already toured 5 cities with city officials there. One top contender is the open land in the Billings Heights off the new Skyway Drive. We'll have more on the project and what city leaders in Billings think tonight at 10.
A mass murder suspect in Anaconda is behind bars on a $2 million bond. 45-year-old Michael Brown is accused of killing 4 people inside the Owl Bar just 10 days ago. After the shooting, he vanished into the mountains, triggering an 8-day manhunt. He was finally caught Friday near the Ranch Bar off Highway 1 in a structure that had already been searched. In court today, he said he has no job, no phone. Brown is now locked up in the Butte Detention Center. Well, with him now in custody, Anaconda residents say they're ready for life to return to normal. After a week of unease, many hope they never have to go through anything like that again. Tonight, MTN's Megan Thompson speaks with homeowners about the tension, the relief, and the aftermath.
Here along Montana Highway 1, the suspect in the Owl Bar shooting that took the lives of 4 Anaconda residents was apprehended just a few doors down from here. Now, residents in this area say that they're just trying to get back to a sense of normalcy.
Well, it's pretty quiet. This is about as active as it gets, a lawnmower going.
Dan Sorum lives just 2 doors down from the property where authorities arrested Michael Brown on August 8th near a camper trailer. The property owner asked not to be filmed, but he allowed me to film the location of the arrest. How does it make you feel knowing that it's over?
Well, a little bit relieved, but still not quite. Not quite relaxed yet.
Dan says he's not sure why it took 7 days to apprehend Michael Brown, but he could see how someone could avoid detection in the dense underbrush and the hundreds of sheds located on private properties in the area.
It's pretty easy to duck in and out of everything here. I mean, just the guy was probably half smart. He might have been out of his head, but I still think he knew what to do.
Dan gestures to the south and lists off sheds and trailers on his property and others in the neighborhood. He says throughout the search, officers did not stop and ask questions or relay safety information to residents living between Stumptown Road and Highway 1.
I would just wish somebody to come knock on the door so they could have said, hey, we're looking for him pretty close here, so keep an eye out. Nobody ever stops. So.
Michael Brown is currently being held at the Butte Silverboat County Jail. He made an initial appearance via Zoom where a $2 million bond was set. Charges were not stated at this time. In Anaconda, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
A Billings man will spend the next 75 years in prison for a drug deal that turned deadly. 25-year-old Lauren Smoker was sentenced for the June shooting death of Dennis Rowland. A jury found Smoker guilty of deliberate homicide, rejecting his claim that he fired in self-defense. Prosecutors say it all started in the early morning hours on Country Manor Boulevard when a drug deal turned into a fight. Roland and 2 others left, but Smoker chased them down, opening fire near Central and Shiloh. Smoker was arrested later at a Northside home.
Temperatures are warm, the sun is shining, we even got wildfire smoke in parts of the state. So let's talk winter weather, because the Farmer's Almanac came out with their winter prediction for 25-26. You'll notice across Montana, Wyoming, across a big portion of the country that they're calling for very cold and snowy conditions, which could happen as we're starting to see at least a weak La Nina start to come together. So it's really too far out to be able to talk too much in detail at this point, but that usually leans towards average or cooler temperatures for us in our part of the country. The stronger signal usually is a wetter than average winter. We're a long way from that. We'll talk about the summertime forecast coming up.
Several Billings city pools are shutting down sooner than planned, cutting the swim season short. The early closures come as lifeguards leave for school or other jobs, leaving the city without enough staff to keep them open. Our Hannah Pettiferi breaks down which pools are closing and how much time you have left to use them.
Even on a mostly cloudy day, Billings public pools are filled. Angela and her son Oakley often visit Rose Park Pool.
That's where we spend our summers, is the pools.
But that will soon come to an end.
It's sad that the pools are closing early because that's what kids look forward to.
But what about those sitting high above the pools, like Claire Foote, who has been a lifeguard for 3 summers? She's now gearing up for a new adventure.
I'm a college student and I have to leave earlier than most schools start here.
Reminiscing on what the summer has been like.
It's always kind of sad because you make friends and it's fun, and then you have to go back to school, which is kind of sad.
60 lifeguards are out keeping everyone safe across the city pools throughout the summer.
We need 20 lifeguards every day to keep our pools safe.
Recreation Superintendent Corey Thompson says most lifeguards are in high school and college.
A lot of those kids are busy and active in other extracurricular activities, or again back to school and college.
Which is the reason some pools are shutting the splash down early.
As we'll lose guards, we'll start to shift them to the other locations.
And they're already planning for next year.
We'll hope to retain a lot of these guards and bring them back again next year.
And as summer begins to fade away, the summer blues are sliding in.
That means summer's coming to an end faster than we expect it to.
Time's running out to make a splash at Rose Park. The pool will be open on reduced hours from August 25th through the 30th from noon to 5. And the final day of the season is August 30th. In Billings, Hannah Pettiferry, MTN News.